Hello, and welcome to Adventures in TV Land. For today's adventure, I've come to Oakwood Cemetery in Niagara Falls, New York, to visit the grave of Annie Taylor. Annie Taylor was the first person to go over Horseshoe Falls in a barrel and live. And the Oakwood Cemetery was placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 2014. Annie Edson Taylor was born October 28, 1838 in Auburn, New York. Her father owned a flour mill and died when she was 12 years old, but he left enough money for the family to provide for them for a comfortable living. She became a school teacher, later married David Taylor. They had a son who died in infancy, and soon after, her husband died too. As a widow, she spent the rest of her working years doing various other jobs and traveling throughout the United States and Mexico. By 1900, she had fallen upon very hard times as her home had burnt down and she lost almost all of the rest of her money from a failed investment from a clergyman. Hoping to secure a more stabilized financial future, she decided that she would be the first person to ride over Niagara Falls in a barrel. She had a barrel that was custom made for her trip, constructed of oak, iron, and was padded with a mattress. She tested the barrel out by putting a cat inside the barrel to see if it would hold, and the cat did survive. 17 minutes after going over the edge of the falls, the barrel was found with the cat inside. It was bleeding from the head, but it was alive quite well. On October 24th, 1901, her 63rd birthday, the barrel was put over on the side of a rowboat, and with her heart-shaped pillow clutching it inside, the lid was screwed down and a hole was drilled, and using a bicycle pump, friends pumped air inside the barrel and then plugged it with a cork, and she was set adrift south of Goat Island. She was discovered alive and relatively uninjured, except for a small gash upon her head. After being released from the barrel, she told the press, "If it was with my dying breath, I would caution anyone against attempting the feat. I would sooner walk up to the mouth of a cannon knowing it was going to blow me to pieces than make another trip over the fall." Taylor had hoped that the stunt would secure her financial future, but it didn't gain her much wealth. She wrote a memoir and returned to Niagara Falls to sell it, but then her manager ran off with her barrel and most of her savings. What she had left, she used towards hiring private detectives to try to find the barrel, and it eventually disappeared and was never to be recovered. She spent her final years posing for photographs with tourists at a souvenir stand. She died a pauper on April 29th, 1921. Since she was penniless, public donations were sought to pay for the cost of her funeral, and she was buried in the Oakwood Cemetery in Niagara Falls, New York. Here we are at Oakwood Cemetery. We're at the grave of Annie Taylor. Annie was the first person to go over Horseshoe Falls in a barrel. She's buried next to Carlisle Graham, who was the first person to go through the Whirlpool Rapids in a barrel and live. Now, if you're wishing to visit Annie's grave yourself, when you enter the cemetery entrance, take the right road, and it brings you to this fork here. And at the, where the fork splits, this section, there are 3 rows. 1, 2, and there's where you find Annie Taylor. Well, this has been another adventure in TV land. Thank you for watching. If you've liked this video, hit that like button. If you disliked, hit the dislike button. Subscribe to my channel for further content and ring that bell for email notifications. And if there's some place that you want to see me visit, leave a comment in the comment section. Until next time, that's a wrap. Annie Edson Taylor, they called her the